I'm about to fly out in like an hour. I'm all checked in and ready to go, waiting on my flight. So yeah, check-in was pretty easy. I handed them my COVID test and my visa, got everything checked in, and I'm ready to fly out. So about to take off, and yeah, let's go. So I have the entire road to myself, so it's all right here. It's all empty. It's so cool. I'm so excited.
Gentlemen, please fasten your seatbelts. We will continue serving meals at the after terminal seat over. As the terminal seat over. Thank you for your understanding.
So I got my meal, and I just realized I forgot what I had even ordered for a special meal. I thought it was just vegetables, but there's chicken underneath, so I asked for no dairy or anything. So I was like, oh, okay, there's chicken. It's not just potatoes and tomatoes.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes,
and squash and zucchini and carrots and things. And so I've got a rice cake with some olive oil and balsamic vinegar, fruit, and a little salad. So yeah, so this is what I've got going on right now. Can't wait to eat it. And I didn't realize I was going to be eating this early in the flight. I'm not even hungry right now, but you know what? I'm no quitter. I'm going to push through and I'm going to eat. Oh, cantaloupe. I love cantaloupe.
여러분 안녕하십니까? 저는 여러분
I get to occupy a little bit of my time for this flight watching Netflix. I downloaded a couple of things, actually a lot of things, before getting on the flight, so that way I can have some things to watch on the plane. And so what I'm going to be watching is this drama called and of course it's so there's some other people. I don't know who the people are, but I do know some ones in it. So I will be watching this. So excited. So there's 11 hours and 50 minutes left on this flight, and I need to sleep. So I can't ever sleep on flights, so I have low assistance with my knockoff Benadryl. So I'm going to be out like a light. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to sleep. About to land. I'm now sitting in my new apartment, which I absolutely love. Beginning the quarantine process, I will show you all my apartment
when it is a little bit more decent, because right now it looks like a tornado ran through it with all of my stuff just spread out all over everywhere. But yeah, it is, I'm still trying to adjust to the jet lag and the 17-hour time difference, and I'm really tired right now. I'm just really excited to be here. This whole process has definitely been an adventure, and I made it through the whole health screening process at Incheon Airport, which I loved how it was so streamlined, and it was pretty easy. And when I arrived, because there were a lot of other flights coming in at the same time, there was a pretty significant wait. I think I was waiting in line for about an hour before I was able to see someone. The first thing that they did is that they took my temperature, and they did the temperature in the ears, and then after that we moved on to another line. Because I was just like up and running around, my temperature ended up being kind of high, and so I went to a separate line, and then with that line they took my temperature, and it had gone down a little bit, and then they waited 5 more minutes and took my temperature again, and then it had gone down to normal, and so they let me move on to the next phase of the process, which was downloading the quarantine app, and so I had to put in my address. Then when I moved on, they showed me how to operate the app and what I was supposed to do, and one of the things I was supposed to do I kind of forgot to do until too late, and so which was to call the local office to let them know that I'm beginning my quarantine, and so I'm going to have to let them know in the morning because their offices are closed now. And I think they probably would have been closed had I actually remembered on time, because I got to my place pretty late. And so they showed me how to work the app. They called phone numbers to make sure that the phone numbers are in service, because I listed my number as well as my director's phone number, and so they use these numbers to kind of keep in touch with you throughout the quarantine. After that, I went to passport control, where they took my address, and for all of you who are going to be going to Korea, make sure that you have your address written in Korean, because the person helping you may not be able to read it in English, so that's just something that you might want to keep in mind. Luckily, I had a friend translate my address for me beforehand, so I was able to just show them what my address was on my phone. And then after that, I went through passport control, and then I got my bags, which were already waiting for me. And then when I walked out of the airport, they were asking how we were getting to our destination, whether it was through the KTX or taxi, or if someone was picking us up. And because I said that I was going to be doing a taxi, they pointed me to the next station, where I handed them the form that has my address written on it that was printed out 2 stations prior to that, and it had my full address on there. And the lady helping me only spoke Korean, but I was able to pick up enough of what she was saying to know that she was asking me where I was going, and and which kind of car I wanted to take, whether I wanted to take a taxi or if I wanted to take a van. And so I took the taxi, and the taxi driver was super helpful, and was really nice, helped me with my bags. And when we walked out to the taxi, he was asking me if I spoke Korean. Like, he was asking me in Korean. I was able to understand, hey, he's asked if I speak Korean, but I of course don't speak Korean that well, so I just said, oh, 한국어 아주 잘 못해요. He had said a few other things to me that I was able to pick up on, but I didn't know how to answer, even though I knew what he was saying. And then he said like a few other things that I understood, but I am not skilled enough in my Korean to respond, so I just nodded my head. And then when we got out to the car, he put my bags in, but before putting my bags in, he sprayed them down, and then he sprayed me down. And so it's just like a really nice change of pace to see just how diligent they are about COVID-19 here. And then the taxi had like a little glass shield between the passenger and the taxi driver, and I had like a nice little ride and a nice little nap in the car on the way to my place. And then also something else, if you're taking a taxi, you want to make sure that you have cash on you too. So that was my experience today. Made it to my apartment. My first impressions of Korea so far, that the people are pretty friendly, and so that was really nice. And me being originally from the Midwest, I'm used to friendly people, so it's nice to see that this is kind of similar. So it is really late here. It's almost 1 a.m. I think, and after cleaning and showering, I'm ready to go to bed, and in the morning I will be getting up for my coronavirus test. So another test. So that is my first night here. I will see you all next time.